Okay, so today's book talk is something really new and different for me. And I've got to say, even as someone who loves books and who reads all the time, we always have like these other categories and genres and formats that we haven't been exposed to. And the more we can expose ourselves to these different categories and formats and genres, the richer reading experience we're going to have. And I knew as I started to prepare to become a librarian that one of my weaknesses was manga. I'm I'm not a huge manga fan. I've really read very very little. My friend Alan, who passed away recently, he was one of my friends who was the biggest fan of it, and he exposed me to some, but I really hadn't read much. So for a grad school class I'm in right now, there's a couple of manga books that we're supposed to read. So this is my first exposure. So the first manga that I read completely is this one, which is Naruto. Now this is Naruto 3-in-1 edition volume 1. So this has basically Naruto volumes 1, 2, and 3 all combined into one omnibus. It's about 800 pages, or 600 pages, 600 pages I think. 600 pages, and it's just the first chunk of the story of Naruto. Naruto is a young boy who is basically training to be a ninja, and when the story starts off, he is definitely a failure. Like, he has failed 3 times to pass the test to go on to be to get past just basic ninja academy and be named an actual ninja. He's had a hard life. He's an orphan. His mom and dad have passed. He's had to raise himself, and he's a very arrogant. He thinks he's the best, and he plans on being the greatest ninja the town has ever seen. And he also loves to pull pranks on people. So he is not very well loved by people. And you come to discover that essentially the spirit of like the seven-tailed fox has been is inside of him. And these are things that are traditional to folklore. But so he becomes a ninja. He gets a teacher. He gets paired up with 2 other people. This girl who he loves and is like infatuated with, and this guy who like everybody thinks is the coolest kid in school, and so Naruto obviously hates. And they all become a team, and they have to kind of face challenges together, including just becoming a team together. It's pretty funny at times. It's very the relationships are fun. The teacher's relationships with Naruto is fun. As both a teacher and a former kind of pain of a student, I can relate to both characters. I will say it took me a while to get used to the action in this, the way the action is done compared to traditional American comics. I wasn't quite used to it, but specifically the action in this has influenced a lot of other manga and stories since then. In fact, I read that Brian Lee O'Malley said that it had a huge impact on his writing of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So this is an influential manga, and I encourage you to pick it up and read it and enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It kind of has a bit of a cliffhanger, so I was like, man, I wish I had the second volume. So I'm probably going to have to check that out of my library when I get a little bit caught up on my reading right now. So Naruto 3-in-1 edition volume 1. I've already reviewed this on my blog, so if you want to go over there, you can read the full review. And yeah, pick it up.